Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles, compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles, go take care of your business. Success Chronicles, it's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with the Hangout and Highlight session with my guy, Coach Van Malone. And I'm truly excited to have him on. Just wanted to show him some love. Just truly appreciate the guy that he is. The things that he's done is truly an inspiration to many. I just wanted to show him some love today and highlight him. So first, Coach, thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with us.
Well, I appreciate it, Chip. Man, always good to jump on with you. And, man, it's just been an incredible ride. We're still rolling. We're in third gear, you know what I mean? And it's been a fun experience this year, but throughout my journey as a coach.
Sweet. Well, you hit on your journey, man. Talk to us about your journey, if you don't mind, track that thing from growing up to where you're from so people can understand the magnitude and the importance of what it is you do and how you do what you do.
Well, man, it's cool for me to just talk about journey because one of the things that I do with my players year after year is that we call it story time. Mm-hmm. And so in story time, I want you to take me through what got you to this point, right? To today. How did you get here? And sometimes what guys lead in with is surface level things. And I always go first because I want to make sure that everybody understands, we in this story time that we want to dig deep. We want to know what makes you tick, because I think when you know what makes people tick, then you can help them be a better them, and you can understand where their struggles are. And so if you listen to my story, it actually does not give you any idea, you know what I mean? Because my story is all over the place. But I started out, man, I'm from Houston, Texas. And, you can always, not always, but quite often you can connect who people are to how they grow up and the environment that they grew up in. Well, when you think about my environment, and I grew up in the parts of Houston that produce some great men, but you just don't always hear about them because they don't make it through. They don't make it to the end of the race. They don't make it to the parts of the race where it's positive. I grew up in the areas of Fifth Ward and Acres Homes. And man, those times for me growing up from an economic standpoint were rough, you know what I mean? But I was fortunate along the way that I got into sports. And when you get into sports, sometimes that keeps you off the wrong tracks, keeps you out of the situations that can cause you trouble. And so that's what happened for me. Graduated from Waltrip High School and had the opportunity to be recruited really by schools all over the country. And I chose to go to the University of Texas because I knew that the University of Texas, my family could get to me. They could be able to see me play. And another reason is that I kind of grew up watching the University of Texas on TV, and so I ended up going there. And after that great career at the University of Texas, I had an opportunity to be drafted. So I was drafted by the Detroit Lions and had an amazing time in Detroit during my career there. And so I left there and played for just a hot minute for the Arizona Cardinals. And then I started to, and actually it wasn't by my choice, but it was by force when you got injured and I ended up getting released, that I decided, I want to go into another place in my life. And that's really when my life started, is when I got into coaching. My first coaching job was at Waltrip High School, and I coached at Waltrip. honestly, my high school coach tricked me into coaching because I didn't think I wanted to coach. And he said, "Hey, well, why don't you just come and talk to the kids one day?"
Mm.
And that day happened to be a game. And so I just stayed for the game, talked to them before the game, and I just stayed for the game. And next thing I know, I'm on the sidelines and I'm encouraging and I'm coaching essentially. And man, I didn't leave. And I decided, this is a segue for me. This is where I want to go. I always wanted to impact lives. I always wanted to impact people, and to stay in the realm of sports was the likely thing for me to do. So I ended up staying there and coaching at Wall Trip, but then started to getting offers to coach in college. And I would always find a reason not to coach in college. And the underlying thought process that I had was, if a young man is in college, he's already past me. I can't help him be anything better than what he is, but I can help these high school students,
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to have my players, as they would go off to college, they would come back, and the experience that I would get, or the mindset that I would gather from those players is that, man, they're just like these high school student athletes. Is that, man, they don't have all the answers,
Yeah.
And so I had to say to myself that if I get another opportunity in college, I'm going to take it. And so I should have waited a little while, but the next opportunity that I got was at North Dakota State, and so I take the job at North Dakota State. Actually, before I took it, I asked the coach who offered me the job. I said, "Hey, I think this is a great opportunity, but is North Dakota State in the United States?" So I ended up taking that job, man, and it was a great experience. And I bounced around, knew a few jobs after that. I was only there 1 year. I could only stay in that cold 1 year, but left there, went to Western Michigan. From there, went to North Texas. From North Texas, went to Arizona State for a hot 9 days. Actually, in between there, I went to the University, Ohio University for a hot 3 days. And then I went to North Texas, then North Texas to Arizona State to Texas A&M, where I stayed for 4 years. Now I got to add that Texas A&M and Texas being a very heated rivalry. Here you got a guy who graduated from Texas, and he's now coaching at Texas A&M. Wow, that was a different experience, but an experience that made me understand it's a rivalry, and it's just that both of these programs are extraordinary programs. And so I had a great experience on the other side of the fence, because on the one side of the fence, they were saying, those people over there are crazy. When you get on the other side of the fence, they're saying, those people over there are crazy. You realize that both sides are crazy, but fantastic passion for the programs, and they both are outstanding programs in their own rights. So I had an opportunity to be there, left there, and went to the University of Tulsa. From the University of Tulsa to Oklahoma State. From Oklahoma State, I had an opportunity to be a defensive coordinator at SMU. And so we were at SMU in a time when there was great struggle. And so that was a very cool. These other jobs that I've gone through already, they were great experiences. Each one I had an opportunity to learn and grow as a coach and as a man. But here I come to SMU, where I get an opportunity to lead a one side of the ball, the defense. And, we had players that were not as talented as some other places that we've been, but those kids they worked hard, and they listened, and they took coaching well. And so over the course of time, we were able to recruit players who were some of the top players in the area, but they believed in the vision that we were selling, and the fact that the program would change once we got the right kind of people in the program. And so I was able to, as I look back at that program after I left, I was able to see those changes and that trust that those players and their families put into us as a staff, and to see the development of the program over the years has been cool for me. Left there and went to Mississippi State. Was at Mississippi State, where we had the #1 defense in the country in a whole lot of different categories, several first-round draft picks. Left there and came here to Kansas State. And so I've been here for 4 years, and just an amazing season this past year, where we were able to win the conference championship. And man, there are too many experiences, too many stories within this season that allow me to just take it all in and understand that, the rough days throughout my career, because there's some 1-11 days in my career. There are some days where we really struggle on the football field, and so to have a season like we had this season was makes it all worth it, honestly.
That's awesome. And when we started, I really didn't start out saying where you were now, because I wanted you to have the opportunity to say where you are. But I'm gonna just say, like where you are, you're in your office.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still looking at the background back there, and man, that's one heck of a view.
Right. Yeah. You know what? When you have a view like this, and you rewind through all those stories,
man,
and know that the view hadn't always been that way, it's incredible. It's an incredible blessing. But it's like I had a aunt used to always say, when you get blessed, you're not getting blessed for you, you're getting blessed so that you can bless others. And so that's the way I always look at it, is that, this view that I have is not my view. Is for me to allow others to see that view through me.
I love it. And that's one thing I say that too. I truly believe, we're blessed to be a blessing.
That's right.
Truly believe that. And you've done that throughout your whole career, since I've known you, the whole time. And all I've ever heard was, the great things about, helping others, being a blessing, relationship building. And so what I want to talk now about is, you talked about the different places that you've gone, and I think you've had success, even in those 1-11 days, like you said. I think you've continued to have success, on a personal level and with the teams and the people that you're involved with, because of the way you do things. And so I would think that you would have had to have adapted and adjusted well, right, to continue to grow. What are some tips that, if some people are watching and, they're in situations where they've had to, change some things or do some things and be in situations, what are some tips to help people adapt and adjust?
Well, I have a lot of, I'm a story guy, right? But and I can't share them because we'll run out of video time. But as a coach, you're always adapting, you're always adjusting, and I hear administrative people always say, "Time to pivot." You know what I mean? I will digest that and regurgitate it from the standpoint of coaches being fired. What a great adaptation. You know what I mean? When you get fired, you have to adapt, you have to adjust, you have to keep rolling because the game keeps going. But, I was talking to, because we just had the AFCA coaches convention, and I was talking to a group of young coaches about the fact that in this world that we live in, but it's anybody's world, it's anywhere. We say like it's so rough in coaching, people get fired in a lot of different professions, but I always say that, when you go and you work at the local burger joint, right? And you go back there and you're back there flipping those burgers, right? One of the things you understand is that the grease is going to be hot back here, right? And so what would happen if the grease pops on your hand back here, Hey, man, you got to keep rolling. The grease popped on you, you wipe it off and you keep going, right? But that's the same thing in our situations as coaches. When we get fired, right? When there's transition, when there's a staff change, that's just a part of it. That's a part of the game. That's a part of the life that we live. So what do? You keep pedaling, right? I always say this, that from a spiritual standpoint, it's not my job to steer the bike. It's my job to pedal. You know what I mean? And God is steering. And so you make sure you keep pedaling, right? Don't concern yourself with what's going on. You just keep doing your part. And I look at it like, when you go back to the coaching realm, is that on third down as a defensive coach, sometimes we don't stop them. They get a first down. And so we have to adapt and we have to adjust. We have to keep rolling because we got to stop them the next series. From an offensive standpoint, you got the third down, you didn't get the first down, you punt it. What do? You come over to the sideline, you adapt, you adjust, right? It's not the end of the game. And again, you talk about firing and transition. It's not that you're a bad coach. You just didn't stop them, all right? So you can't quit the game. You just got to go over to your sideline. You got to remap out your plan, right? You got to do that. Is not working. So you have to do something a little bit differently, and you go back out there. You get back out there into the game. Again, some of the times where I've had, when I've been fired, I come out on the other side in a better position than I was before. And the thing that I have to understand is that it's not always I was fired when I was the national assistant coach of the year, right? But it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the path that you have to walk, right? Sometimes we just got to walk this path. And if we walk this path, we get to the other side and we look back like, man, I didn't think I would make it through that, right? But if you divert, if you go a different direction, you wouldn't be in the king's palace. You know what I mean? And so sometimes you have to walk this walk, right? And it's not that you're doing something wrong. It's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you need to flip your life upside down. It's God saying, listen, man, go this direction. Right. Yeah. So I'm bad about my directions because the GPS is always saying recalibrating. You know what I mean? Recalibrating. And when you recalibrate, it just takes you longer to get to the place that God has for you. You're going to go your own way. Right. No, this is the path that you should go. And so that's kind of what I've learned on the topic of adapting and adjusting.
I love it. I love it. Keep pedaling. Time to pivot. The grease is hot in the kitchen.
And you know that already.
You still got to keep cooking though.
You know that. You know when you put the chef's hat on, you knew there was an opportunity. There would be a chance that we would get some hot grease splashed.
I love it. I love it. So, hearing you talk about your journey, hearing you discuss the tips of adapting and adjusting, that makes me think about the people that's been blessed and fortunate to be around you. I know you talked about impacting lives and being blessed to be a blessing, right? And you've truly done that, right? I know stories and situations, even me personally, we've had, conversations on some things, on advice, and I'm truly grateful for that. But how important is quality relationships?
Man, so I talking to younger coaches about the importance of creating and nurturing genuine, you say quality, I like to say genuine relationships, because the thing is that people, I'll go to the convention and I was reading something that it talked about, it described all these types of coaches that you would see at the convention. You're going to see the coach that's going to be chasing the big name coach because he wants to meet the big name coach. You're going to see the coach who's going to be in the lobby all the day, whatever, all these different types of coaches that you'll see at the coaches convention. And because I was trying to figure out which one I am, because when I'm running around the convention, I'm at the convention working, which I take great pride in that. But I advise coaches that when you are with someone, right, when you are in a conversation with someone, that convention setting is the greatest example of it, that you are present in that moment. When my players come into my office, I have two phones. I have to put both phones away because it's their moment, right? They wouldn't come in here if whatever it was that they wanted to deal with, if it was not important. So you have to be present in that moment. You see people, you talk to people, you dealing with them, and they doing two or three other things while you talking to them. Well, what is that? You know what I mean? And so that's one uh, great way to establish relationships, because you're listening, you are actively involved in the conversation. So when people do that, when you do that to people, they want to have conversations with you. You don't want to have a conversation with a person who is not engaged with you. That's one thing. The next thing is that, I don't know how much memory I have on my phone, but I never delete a text message. And so I'm always, for example, after the game, when we won the championship, well, I got like 1,000 text messages. Man, I'm just getting through those text messages. I text messaged a guy, and I said, thank you for those words. He said, thank you for those words. He sent me a text message after the championship game in December, but I'm just getting through. It's important to me that and I'm not always perfect with this, but you send me a message that I'm going to respond. And in this case, it may take a whole month, right? But I'm going to get through those messages and respond, because I have a story about that. I had when I was at SMU, and I had an opportunity to speak at the AFCA convention. I talked to after I was on the stage speaking, and I was actually on stage speaking about faith, family, and football. And at that moment, I was talking about transition. And after that talk, that presentation, a lady wanted to talk to me, and she said, "Coach, you don't know me, but I communicated. I sent you a letter, an email, and I sent it to a whole lot of coaches, but you're one of the only ones to respond. And what you said when you responded is just keep your head up. It's not the end of the world." Same things I just said to you, Chip, but it's the same things that I had just said on that stage to this audience as a fired coach, right? Well, I was talking to her in that email as the big time defensive national player coach of the year guy, and I was telling her the same things that she heard on that stage. And so she just wanted to thank me, because at that moment when I responded to her, they were ready to give up. They were ready to give up on the profession. But as I encouraged her, they didn't give up. They stayed in there, and she just wanted to let me know, hey, thank you for your words. We're fine now. We got a job, but we were ready to let it all go. And so I think just giving people the opportunity to get you right, given opportunity to be present with you, to engage with you in this relationship. People respect that. They want that. To have a genuine concern for the other person, right? I have a terrible problem. I don't listen. I like to talk, and so sometimes I have to contain myself to allow people to tell me what's going on with you, right? Because I have a lot going on, right? Van Malone, to a lot of people, has a lot going on. Van Malone to himself has a lot going on. I'm right, but there's a lot going on in your life, and so I have to train myself, force myself in true, genuine relationships, force myself to not talk about how great this season was and how great my day is going and all the stuff I got going on, but to hear about what's going on in your world. If I'm truly concerned with this genuine relationship, and I think that's hard for people to do, because first thing most people want to do is talk about themselves and their kids and what's going on with them and how they're struggling and how happy they are. Well, sometimes you got to pull yourself back to allow that other person to give as well.
I love it. I love it. Well, as we come to a close, I just want to say thanks so much for continuing to, enjoy the journey that you've enjoyed. Thanks so much for continuing to adapt and adjust and stay in the kitchen when the grease get on you. Right. I just want to tell you thanks so much for fostering those genuine relationships. And I can say like what you're saying is not fluff because I'm a product of that too. As far as our relationship. And so just thank you for that, man, and God bless you on your journey. It's great stuff that you're doing. I wanted to just highlight you. Like I said,
man,
show you some love.
I appreciate you, Chip. Because man, who does this? You know what I mean? Who does this? People will say, Coach Malone, who does this? Who stands here and talks to me and you don't even know me? Well, I say to you, Chip, who does this? Who does what you do? Who thinks it's so important to highlight people, right? But then to take that and share it with others. Who does that? You know what I mean? And so I know who does it. You do.
Let's go.
Right? Because
Let's go.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's who you are, and I appreciate you for what you do. And I appreciate my place in your life and you allowing me, to be a part. And we probably could sit here all day and thank one another. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So I thank you, man, for your contribution in my life and allowing me to be a part of yours. And hopefully, we can help 2 other people. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Get them in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that got better from this. But
right.
I love for you to get an opportunity to share your social media so people can check you out and see all the great things you're doing there.
Well, now you're about to get an old man trying to talk about social media. But my Twitter is Van B Malone III. So it's VANB Malone, the number 3 RD. As where I keep it simple for me.
There you go.
And then man, I don't know what other social media. I don't know. I don't have a lot of social media, but my Twitter's
good.
You can email me at vmalone@kstatesports.com. And now you going way over my head. Now you start talking about some Tic Tacs and TikToks and Tooks and Jimmy Chans.
See where Houston on you.
Yeah,
where Houston on you.
Yeah. So,
well, man, Coach.
I do have all those. I have all those things too. I have Instagram. I got a TikTok. I got a what's the other one? I got them all too. I don't know the names of them, but I got them. Yeah, I got it. The little black thing. TikTok.
TikTok, yes, TikTok.
Snapchat. I got the Snapchat.
There you go.
Right? It's not like diseases, all that stuff. But anyway, I got them.
All right. Hey, well, appreciate your time, Doc. And
sure.
I wish you continued success on your journey. And thank you guys for checking out this Hangout and Highlight session. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.